Alright, so a little while back I did a video on Autoniq, the appraisal tool that I had used for several years, and I have since changed to Laser-Appraiser, and that's what this looks like here. I had demoed this several times, which they'll, the companies, all the companies, they'll let you demo any of these about as many times as you want to and answer any questions, set them up how you want to. And I highly suggest doing that because everybody uses these just a little bit different. I still go to several physical auctions a week, plus when I'm in the office, I do work online auctions and classified listings, different things like that. So everybody will use these a little bit different. One of the main things I like about Laser-Appraiser over Autoniq is the scanner. I believe is a little bit quicker, but not only is it quicker, the main issue is that it will read numbers. So a lot of times I would run into these vehicles that did not have barcodes, or even a listing that didn't have a barcode. I can simply just scan the actual number, and this will pick up the VIN and go ahead and value the vehicle. This is your main home screen when you open up the app. And like I say, it's free to download. If you do a demo, they'll give you a code and everything to get it open. But the top left here where it says options, if you press that, that'll go in here and let you kind of set some of your actual settings up, for them to estimate miles, state you want it searched in. When you get down here, these are the things you can add. You can do what I've got actually that I pay for in mine, because you have your base membership and then you have whatever books you want to add. I have auto auctions, which is kind of like their form of MMR, but it's information pulled in from several auto auction listings and sales. I also have Carfax linked into it, Blackbook, and JD Power, which was in ADA. So that's how, when my screen pulls up, that's how mine are in that order. And if you want to change these, all you have to do is grab them, and you can move them to whichever position you want them moved into. But I've already got them where I want them, so I'm going to leave them where they're at. Go back up to home, and the big red button here will take you right to the scanner if you want to scan. And that's how you do any barcode. And I'll tell you, some of the issue I had when I was demoing this a long time ago was that at the time I was doing quite a bit online, and the desktop version of this is basically, it mimics the mobile version, which to me is kind of a pain. I don't enjoy using it. And after I don't know how many times of using it and trying to make sense of it, and it just did not work for me. One of the sales reps that I was dealing with actually said, well, I've got a guy that just simply uses his phone as the scanner, just like you would at the auction, and just scans the screen on the computer, and does everything from his phone. And I thought, well, duh, that's, I didn't even think about trying it that way. So now that's what I do. I sit at my desk and I just scan the screen with my phone. If I'm looking at a VIN number, like if I'm on backlots or ACV or something like that, or a classified ad on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace that has a VIN number, then I just scan it with my phone and look at it just like I would at the auction. So that's what you use that one for. The one that says manual input here, that's where you can actually manually put in a VIN number. So for some reason, and I've had people that have called me and I've had to write down the VIN number over the phone, and then I have to go back and enter it in. I've also used this to copy and paste a VIN number over from maybe a text that someone has sent me or something like that. So that works real well. It'll take you right to it. The other one on the bottom left here is year, make, and model. So if you go to it, let's say there again, you say somebody calls you, hey, I've got this, I got this 2016 Buick, and it's a let's say LaCrosse. Like I say, you just keep trimming it down here, and it's going to be, let's just say it's a sport touring sedan front-wheel drive. So then it takes you to the main screen here for your valuation. Obviously we don't have the VIN, so it's not giving us that, but it's giving us year, make, model of car. We can go in and change the miles if we want to. Let's just say it's got 95,000. And where some of your information up top would be, like if you're scanning a vehicle at the auction, it will populate the lane and run number. a lot of times the color, and then you can go in and add notes. So like when I'm walking the auctions in the morning and I'm scanning a car, and let's say I make a note here, then this thing's going to need a fender painted, or it's going to need tires, or I usually make my notes there. That way when I go back later on, I can make sure that I'm considering that in my value. Here's what auto auctions looks like. This is what their formulation is. The very top numbers is adjusted wholesale, adjusted retail, and then it gives you a below average and above. And on some of these, it's kind of weird because you'll actually have all these three numbers up here will be the same. So there's no difference or no variation in below to above. So I've never have really figured that out. But mainly I just look at that top figure there, adjusted wholesale and retail, and that's mainly what I look for. So no Carfax because we don't have a VIN number. And then you get to Blackbook, which is another one I use. Mine is set to default at wholesale, but you can, right where it says whole, you can press that. It'll take you to retail, press it again, trade in, and then other. So anyway, that'll give you all those. And then go down to JD Power. Same thing, mine's set to retail, so I can look at loan and what retail and ADA is, in case someone's going to a bank or credit union. It kind of gives me an idea. But you can also set it up to look at rough, average, and clean trade, as well as auction prices. So that is how that works. You have this your bar that pops up top here. This always can take you back home. You can go into history. So if you've scanned the last couple of vehicles, it will go by day. It goes back so far, and then it kind of cuts off. But it does have a pretty good little bit of a memory. So if you scan a vehicle, maybe you wanted to, instead of having to rescan it, or maybe you scanned it and you don't have access to the vehicle again, and you forgot to look up something, you can go back to it. And like I say, this one I had a VIN number on, so this is one I was looking at on backlots. So gives me all the same information there. It gives you a summary on the Carfax, or what they call a Carfax Snapshot. You just go down and click full report, and then it will open up the actual full Carfax for you. And I do look at Carfax quite a bit, not so much on their valuation part, but a lot of times I'm looking for where the vehicle has been, make sure it hasn't been in parts of the country that I don't want to buy from, and maybe looking for particular types of service records. Okay. Folders. Okay, this one is something that you set up. What I use this for is when I go to, these are the physical auctions I will go to, and so these are folders I have set up so that when I'm at that auction, let me go back and show you something here. So let's say that let me see if I can find one. Well, it doesn't matter, let's just say this. Okay, so let's say I've scanned this vehicle at an auction, and it's one that I want to bid on that day, because I don't use pen and paper when I'm out scanning vehicles. I wait till I get back into the auction. I take a little bit of time there to make some notes and fill out a run sheet with my prices and things on it, so it's all kind of in order, and I have time to really go over it and make a good decision on what I want to value the car. But you have these three buttons down here. You have save, reports, and inventory. So if you just click save, it takes you directly to your folder, and then you can assign that to whichever auction you're at. So if I'm at an Alliance auction, I can just hit assign. I just keep hitting assign to any vehicles I'm super interested in, want to bid on. It'll build that folder for me, and then I can go back and open that folder, and then it will just have those vehicles only in there, not all the ones that I scanned. So that's a super neat. I mean, I use that feature every physical sale I go to. Also, it keeps track of your run numbers as well. So you have all that information right there. I mean, you literally don't have to remember anything. The only other button on the bottom here is auctions. So I don't use this a whole lot on this particular app, but you could, maybe if you were in between auctions or you wanted to look up something on simulcast. So you've got in-lane online and all auctions. So let's just go to online. It's got 126,000 vehicles currently listed online. I'm in Texas, so let's go down here and see what's going on. 13,000 in Texas. And then you go down and select whichever auction you want to go. Just say I'm going to go Alliance of Abilene. That's one I go to anyway. And then it will give you, now they don't have, obviously it's their sale's not till Friday, so they don't have any pictures or anything else listed, but they do have these particular vehicles on here. Let's go back to one so I can show you maybe what one looks like that's got photos possibly. Okay, yeah, so then we got multiple lanes running here. Pick one of those. Well, they don't have any listed either. But anyway, it'll give you pictures. You can open them up. Let me go back to, because I was looking at this earlier. Let's go back to in lane. Maybe that's a little bit of a difference. Let's go to Austin. Okay, so yeah, so here you go. So let's just open up this 14 Silverado here. And so it's going to give you, oh, and another thing, some of your auction notes will be down here. You see where it says notes and it says trans issue. So typically that's something they're going to announce on the block. The thing is though, when I'm actually out scanning the car, that just saves me time. I mean, if it's got a transmission issue and I don't want to deal with that, then I don't even have to save it. I just don't even worry about it. But that'll take you straight to the valuation on it. You can select the picture itself. It'll give you a little bit more of a blown up picture. And yeah, just takes you right back to that. So like I said, that's not something I very seldom use. Only time I will use that if it's getting late in the day and you know, we've got one or two lanes running and it's stuff that I don't think there's going to be anything in there that I'll want. I will go back and look at those lanes that I'm in, and just basically it'll show me what's coming in and basically verify whether or not I want to stay till the very end of the sale or you know, cut out and take off. So anyway, it's a good app. I've probably used this consecutively now for probably 2 years, and I've been pretty happy with it. I don't really have any service issues with it. I've had maybe once or twice that something's been down on it, which, you know, really wreaks havoc on your day because you get so used to using these things and so dependent on their information. So it does make it difficult when they go down, but so far the service out of it's been very good. Only other one I was using before I actually committed to Laser-Appraiser was called Carbly. And I feel they had a few things they were still working out. I talked to a sales rep with Carbly, and there was a couple little things that were causing me some problems, and had too many steps for me. It was a kind of a time waster in certain, but I really liked the app. I liked the information. I liked the way the stuff was laid out. It was just how it processed some of the information and how it you know, worked for me when I was at auctions actually. So I feel like at some point I'll probably go back to maybe trying to use that when they get a few of their things worked out. But if you're interested in trying Laser-Appraiser, like I say, just contact them. They'll be glad. I mean, I did a dozen demos. It's no problem for them to demo it for you and let you just really try it out and see what you think, because it definitely, with the way the market changes so quickly nowadays, you know, you need to have the most up-to-date value that you can and have access to all the information that you can to make a good buy. So hope that helps somebody out that's looking for one of these.